ever felt stuck in your own thoughts, overwhelmed by emotions, or like you just need to talk to someone about something, but you don't know who you can talk to and will actually give you what you need? This is going to change your life. Today, I am going to show you a step-by-step tool on how to do emotional release for yourself. Think of it like having a therapy session with yourself, one which you don't need to censor yourself. You get told what you need to hear, exactly what you need to hear in your own words, and you leave the session with yourself feeling a whole new sense of clarity and understanding of a situation, of your trauma, of your experiences, and you know what you're going to do moving forward to actually help that situation get better. When I implemented this method, it absolutely transformed my life. And I am someone that also has gone to therapy, goes to therapy, values therapy, and also, disclaimer, if you actually need therapy, go and do it. But this is something you can implement right now, no cost, and not needing someone else's time. First thing you gotta do is get a dedicated journal for your healing process. This is not the random scraps of paper that you write to-do list on. This is not some random journal that you found that you half started like a year ago and never picked up again. This is going out to the store, spending just $1 or $2 at the dollar store and getting a journal that is going to be your emotional release journal, so that every time you look at it, you open it, your brain associates this journal with getting in the mindset to go deep within yourself and actually process some traumas. So now you actually got the journal. Let's get into how you're actually going to start this whole healing process. First things first, you are going to do an emotional dump. This is kind of like word vomit, as they call it, where you're basically opening up your journal and you are writing down every single thought that you have in regards to the situation that you are trying to process or to understand. These thoughts are uncensored. The way you are writing down is not in a fearful way, in a way that someone else is going to read. You are the only one that's going to read this. Write down every single thing that comes to your mind about the situation. Start from the beginning. Start from saying, when I was doing this, someone came up to me and this happened and it made me feel like this, and then I thought this. Like every single thing that comes to your mind while you're writing, write it down. There should be no structure to this. This is literally word vomit, okay? You are just writing down what comes to your mind. And if you are in the middle of a thought and then another thought comes up, you can switch gears and you can just write down that thought. Try to complete your sentences at least so that you can read it back and it actually makes some sense. But make sure that you're not censoring yourself or stopping yourself from saying certain things. Because think about it, if you were speaking to someone about the situation, such as a therapist, when another thought arose, you would probably just say it to the therapist. You wouldn't be like, okay, like let me keep that in the corner and talk about that later. Most thoughts you would just bring up in the moment. And of course, when you're speaking to someone, you can do that typically quicker than you can writing it out. So this takes some practice, but make sure that you're just writing down every single thing that you can. The key here is just to not make a case about anything. You're not arguing for and against your side. You are literally just writing down your feelings. And another essential piece to this is to make sure that you are writing until completion. You're not just writing and then all of a sudden getting tired and stopping because your hand hurts. You are writing until all of your thoughts are out. So this time that you spend doing this needs to be a dedicated time where you are not getting distracted and you're not doing a million things. You have set aside at least an hour for this, an hour minimum, because this is an emotional release process. So write until completion, until every single thought that you have is out, and then comes the fun part. You gotta read it back. Now this part, for people who have not done it before, may be uncomfortable, okay? You're then going to start from the beginning. You are going to read out your thoughts out loud because they are no longer flying around in your head. You have put them on a piece of paper. So you can look at them, read them out loud, and because you are seeing them in a different way as an external observer, you will be able to look at your thoughts a little bit more objectively. And this is where the exciting part starts. Because what does a therapist do for you? A therapist listens to you, they respond objectively, and they say things, and you resonate with some of the things, and whatever it is that you resonate with, you take with you, and that helps your healing process. Now, who else can do that for you? you can, because you know what you will say to yourself that will resonate with yourself. Anyways, while you are reading this back objectively, pay attention to patterns. Do you notice recurring emotions that you are writing about that you have felt in previous situations? Are there beliefs that are unfounded that you continuously repeat and create assumptions off of? This is where you get to really get a sense of what is going on inside. Something that you cannot do when all those emotions and those thoughts are stored inside. Now, the final step before we are actually taking a step back from the journal is to go back in with your pen, put it on paper, and start responding to yourself objectively through writing. You are going to write about the situation from a more objective place. The key here is that you are not writing a solution. You are not writing to fix everything. However, you are just shifting from a place of feeling overwhelmed to coming at it from a place of understanding, and maybe writing about the situation with a more objective viewpoint because you just allowed yourself the space to get that. So that would look like writing something like, I can see how I am feeling these things, and I have felt this way a lot in my life. And it makes sense that I feel this way now because the situation that's happening is extremely similar to the ones that have happened in the past that have caused so much fear for me. And I can understand why I'm feeling like this. And I feel for myself. And it's okay that I feel like this. And it actually might not be the situation in the present moment that needs to change necessarily. It's more of, I just discovered that this situation is triggering this very specific situation in my past, and there's a lot of healing around that situation that needs to be done. See how that response is a little bit more objective. It's a little bit more thought-based rather than the word vomit we did before. Now, the final thing you gotta do after you do this in completion is you gotta close the journal and you have to take in the release. This is a whole process that you can do within one sitting, but the actual feeling of having it integrated and understanding all of the work that you've done and processing it and integrating it into your life will take time. It will take at least 24 hours for you to really integrate it within your being. Honor yourself within these moments, take time for yourself, go for a walk, light a candle, do some light work. Like, you don't need or should be doing this kind of session and then going straight into stressful work, cortisol, overdrive, and doing. Like, you just need to be in this moment, and that is super important. So don't start doing your session if you know right after you're going to be super busy, because the integration is the most important part, and that will only happen when you take rest after. Your subconscious can really start understanding and having that leak into it so that it really makes an impact. But I promise you, if you try this method, if you have a situation where you are finding struggle right now and you're finding something challenging and you don't understand yourself or you don't understand the situation, you just need some clarity, try this method. It will undoubtedly give you the space to process and understand your emotions and be able to come to a place where you can accept them and feel more comfortable with who you are and what you're thinking in that moment and how to maneuver going forward from an objective place. And after you do this quite a few times, it's going to become simpler and simpler. I say that, but then yeah, it becomes simpler because you know the steps, but emotional challenges can be tough, right? So I would say that it becomes quicker to do when you have challenges that arise if you get used to doing this. But one thing is for certain, once you master this system, it will absolutely change your life. I am really excited to hear your guys' thoughts. I think this video is honestly really great. I am honest when I'm saying that this whole system is transformative for me, has been transformative for me, and is something that I will never stop doing when situations arise, because it allows me to be the best version of myself and understand who I am and act in alignment with that. So please let me know in the comments down below what you found helpful from this video, if you actually like this, if you do something like this as well and you just never thought about it and decided to make a video on it. I want to hear all of that. And if you like this video, make sure to check this video out. You're definitely going to love this one. It's kind of like a continuation, but I filmed it way before this one, so check it out. I will talk to you in my next video. I love you. Have a great day. I will see you soon. Bye.